Happy weekend, everyone. I'm meteorologist Erin Ashley, and after a day near 80 degrees, some of us surpassing 80 degrees, well, I've got good news. This weekend is going to be very warm. We're just also bringing in the chances for some showers and some thunderstorms, and some of which will definitely impact those Easter plans. Now, the Easter holiday itself looks more dry than not. We'll time it out here in just a second. If you have any questions, more than happy to help you guys out over the next couple of days, getting you through this holiday weekend. And it started off quite breezy. It is starting off quite breezy, I should say. So there's regional wind gusts. Well, everyone across the region, especially northern Ohio, those winds are howling up to about 40 miles per hour. Here, only about 32. Dayton, 27. Indianapolis, about 30. We've seen more clouds now than we did earlier today. So we were able to hit the 70s very early on today, and then some of us got close to 80, maybe touched 80, but didn't go much farther past it. Now the heat, while it is kind of nice for now, tomorrow it does serve as fuel for some gusty winds, some hail, downpours, all embedded within these thunderstorms that we're tracking. Some of these, it's a very isolated threat that they'll be severe warned, but we just can't rule it out, especially given this time of year. And given the fact of how much heat we've had the last few hours. So tomorrow, on a risk level 1 to 5, right at a 1, mainly for those winds, heavy rain and hail, a lesser threat, and the least threatful thing, if you want to call it that, is going to be tornadoes. It's still a non-zero threat, but it is the least concerning out of all of it. And that's mainly going to be there for your Saturday. Now your Sunday, Easter Sunday, if you celebrate, it's going to start off with wet conditions, maybe a couple of showers lingering into the morning hours, but as the day goes on, the weather does improve. We still hit the 70s. I'm not seeing too much of a wind, but the ground is still going to be soggy with clouds sticking around as well. That's not to say the sun won't come out, and is forecast to come out at times, but it's still going to be a little wet, maybe a little humid, feeling a little bit more like May compared to April. So let's track it, shall we? We get you through the overnight hours tonight, and we're still quite warm stepping out the door tomorrow morning. Here's what I'm talking about for the early morning hours. There's a chance for those north and west of Cincinnati to be woken up by these thunderstorms that you see here. Hail, gusty winds, downpours going to be our main concerns with what you see here, and not everyone's going to get it. Again, mainly north and west of the Cincinnati Metro, north and west of the I-71 corridor, however you want to describe it. The closer you are to Indianapolis, the more likely you're going to see some of these gusty thunderstorms work their way through. And that's going to be for Saturday morning. Notice by the early afternoon, we're cooking in the mid-70s, some of us still in the low 70s at this point, but at least no rain. It's not until about 3 to 4 o'clock that we'll start to track additional activity there on our radar image. Now, compared to the first round, there's less of a chance for you guys to get these downpours, but there's more coverage, and so what that means, it's more likely that you're going to get the rain with the afternoon on Sunday. It's just not as likely that it's going to be a lot of rain. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, just put them down in the comments. I'll get to them here in a second. Again, that's mainly going to impact, everyone will likely get the rain by this point, but this will carry on through for your Saturday evening plans. Again, a marginal risk for some gusty winds, hail, downpours as well. Not zero tornado threat. And then we get overnight into your Easter Sunday, in which the rain does continue. Some of our models, unlike this one, have it continuing up until about this point, which is 7 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be a little bit on the wet side, regardless of if it's actively raining, and that's just because we've got the clouds overnight. Now we're stepping out the door a little cooler compared to Saturday morning. But then notice I brought you to Sunday afternoon, not seeing a whole lot of green out there. We're not forecasting a very rainy day there for your Easter Sunday. That has remained true in our forecast, and so does the clouds. So do the clouds, I should say. They will serve as a blanket, keeping our temperatures from getting too warm or too cold all at once. It's pretty stagnant there in the low 70s for your daytime highs. For Easter Sunday, those winds still out of the southwest. They'll be a little less noticeable there on Sunday, especially compared to today, but Nevertheless, still helping out with those temperatures. Brought you to 8 o'clock, you see here. Still no rain. It's not until Monday that we start to see those showers ahead of a cold front. And we say cold front because it is a cold front, but it's not exactly bringing in very cold temperatures. I'll show you that in a second. The arrival time of these showers is, I don't want to say perfect because it's all subjective, but it's a very good time to limit severe potential, because typically with a cold front we watch for things like that, and we will watch for it. It's just arriving in the mid to late morning, so we're not working off a whole lot of heat, especially because the sun hasn't been up for a long time. So just keep in mind that Monday morning is more than likely going to be bringing in some showers and some storms. How much rain are we talking? So Saturday, if you live north and west of the I-71 corridor, so that does include parts of Butler County, out towards Dearborn County, and farther west towards Batesville and Osgood, about an inch can be expected. Again, it really depends on those downpours and where we get them, and it's just a greater likelihood that if you live north and west of the Cincinnati metro area that you will get one of those thunderstorms. Now your Sunday, your Easter Sunday, notice it didn't add a whole lot of rain to that, and that is mainly just the morning showers working their way on through. And then there's that cold front carrying on through for your Monday, in which I think most of us are going to hover around that 1/2 inch mark for your rainfall forecast. But where we get the thunderstorms, of course, you'll get those higher totals like you see in Batesville, up to about 2 inches of rain. All right, so before I get to your 7-day forecast, I'm going to address some comments, see if there's anything out here. Okay, so Seth's tuning in. Hi, I saw the weather wall at the Science Center of Iowa. That's great, Seth. Thanks for tuning in. V saying, I missed the first part. How will this affect southeastern Kentucky? That's a great question. We talk so much about where the worst of it's going to be or likely going to be, but how about the least concerning? And if you're tuning in southeastern parts of our viewing area in Kentucky, as far as that, so I'm talking Lewis County, Mason, Robertson counties, you can see by the image behind me, you're more than likely going to get less than 1/2 inch of rain with any of those showers and storms. As far as southeastern Kentucky, like the state of Kentucky goes, V, I'm not exactly sure. Revert to your local meteorologist for that forecast. Is Greenfield going to get anything bad? As far as Greenfield goes, I mean, since up there you might get up to about 3/4 of an inch of rain, so, and a non-zero chance for those thunderstorms as well. So gusty winds, I say, Jeff, is mainly going to be your concern, and that's going to be heading into Saturday evening. If you live in southeastern Indiana, it's going to be Saturday morning, but if you live east, if you live anywhere else, it's mainly going to be Saturday evening. So that does include the Cincinnati metro area, and that does include Greenfield as well. Thanks for tuning in, Jeff. Okay, so we've got Dave tuning in saying hello from Hillsboro. Hello, Dave. Jeff saying, piggybacking off of himself, looks like Greenfield will mostly get it Saturday afternoon. Saturday morning we might miss us. That's exactly what I said, Jeff. I'm glad we clarified. And then V saying, I think you answered my question already. Thank you. And of course, V, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad to have helped you guys through that. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. We'll go ahead and get right into your 7-day forecast, which, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, we're getting a cold front on Monday, but we're not getting the big cold behind it. It's still going to be a drop in temperatures. It's just going to be like a little blip, like a kiddie coaster. All right, enough with the analogies. It's mid-70s this weekend. I think between both days, the best day to be outside, Easter Sunday. It's going to be soggy after the rain, but at least we're not actively seeing the rain. I'm talking about Saturday. Anyways, Monday, scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. Some models have this in the morning, some have it in the afternoon, so we're erring on the side of caution. We're going to be watching. Should these delay any further than they have, then we'll be seeing an increased severe risk. But as of right now, it's looking like it's going to be arriving right in that sweet spot in which we're going to get showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder and gusty winds, but nothing too dramatic. And then we'll get the cool air behind it. Hence, Tuesday morning, 49 degrees, our forecast low. So a day in which the jacket in the morning, shed it in the afternoon. You might argue the same thing for Wednesday, jacket in the morning, Afternoon, not so much. And that's because we're back in the mid-70s before you know it, nearing 80 degrees on Thursday ahead of Friday showers and thunderstorms. So, hey, they were feeling a little bit more like a May week ahead rather than an April week ahead with those forecast highs, most of them being in the 70s. Tuesday, upper 60s, so not exactly seeing too much of a dramatic drop there, but yeah, just enough to say that colder air is coming on in midweek and then you'll forget it even happened. So I appreciate you all tuning in this Friday evening, and I hope you have a great holiday weekend if you celebrate. And regardless of any plans that you may have, you'll want to have that Fox 19 First Alert weather app at the ready to get you through those showers and storms, some of which could be on the stronger side. But signing off here in Queensgate, thank you so much for tuning in and have a great weekend.